Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
Edmonton's Chinatown receives a new fund to revitalize its streets.
The change is being driven by the community, supported by City Council.
Get ready for change. Edmonton is set to receive a new expanded unit of peace officers.
It was a long process, but we made it through as a team.
Sick of mosquitoes? City officials introduced their plan to keep those pesky bugs at bay.
The last several spring seasons have been very low in terms of mosquito populations.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NAIT NewsWatch. Today's top story is about how the city is investing into a very specific part of Edmonton's downtown core.
That's right, Selena. The City of Edmonton announced an almost $500,000 fund that will be used to bring life back to Chinatown. Our Kylie Soleil has more on that story, live from the NAIT hallways.
Thanks, ladies. On Tuesday, the City of Edmonton announced the Chinatown Vibrancy Fund. That's a $480,000 fund that businesses and organizations in Chinatown can receive grants from. The fund was created to promote bringing beauty and safety back to Chinatown.
This historical landmark and area that has gone through some very difficult time.
The Chinatown Vibrancy Fund is a $480,000 fund that members of Chinatown can apply to receive grants from to improve the physical appearance, economy, and spirits in the Chinatown in various ways.
It takes a village, but every incremental change makes a big difference. And thank you for our partner, the Chinatown Business Area Improvement Association. They're here, and we're going to do many wonderful, positive things, and the changes are happening. Thank you.
The grants can be awarded to businesses, societies, and community services as long as they align with certain criteria, including falling within at least one of the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars of the fund are to improve a sense of safety and security, focus on economic development, celebrate Chinatown as a destination, and enhance built form and landmarks.
Community has the knowledge, community has the expertise, community have the experience, and they know what is working, what is not working, and what needs to be supported and what doesn't need to be supported, and how all aspects of community can come together to support the vibrancy that is needed in this part of the city.
While there are many different aspects to the Vibrancy Fund, including creating a more welcoming and inclusive Chinatown, the main purpose is to bring life back to the area while promoting economic development within the area. Grant applications opened Tuesday morning shortly before the announcement. More information on the fund and the application form can be found at edmonton.ca/Chinatown. This fund comes after the city invested over $1 million into Chinatown in 2022. The 2022 investment was used mainly for post-pandemic recovery, but businesses were also able to increase safety for themselves, adding safety shutters to their windows and doors.
That is a decent amount of money, but I've heard Chinatown is more than what we typically see. How big exactly is Chinatown?
Yeah, so Chinatown is much bigger than what people think when they're driving down 97th Street and they see the red lamppost and the iconic Welcome Gate. It's actually 53 acres large, and it covers the Macaulay area, McDougall area, Boyle Street, part of the downtown area, and a little bit of the River Valley as well. So quite large, and also includes a lot of the areas dealing with the homelessness crisis in Edmonton.
Kylie, if businesses have added security measures already, what additional safety and security actions are expected to be added?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, they added the security shutters on the windows and doors, but they also created the Healthy Street Community Center, which is a collaboration with EPS, the City of Edmonton, and other government agencies to help homelessness in the area, as well as look at crime and help prevent it. The Chinatown Transformation Collaboration Society have also been helping address homelessness issues and helping individuals with addiction issues get the help that they need and get them off of the streets. And these grants will help the Chinatown Transformation Collaboration Center and the Healthy Street Community Center do more of that as well.
Thanks, Kylie. That's our Kylie Soleil reporting live from the NAIT hallways.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
Edmonton will be seeing a new batch of peace officers in the city after successfully finishing their training. Of the officers graduating, 8 of them will be stationed as a part of downtown safety, the transit system, and animal welfare. The other 5 officers will be deployed to other organizations and municipalities in Alberta. One of the officers graduating will be former Edmonton Elk, Thaddeus Coleman. who after retiring from the CFL, chose to bring his knowledge of teamwork to Edmonton, but this time as a peace officer.
Edmonton was my first stop here in the CFL, and it's always been my home, I guess. Especially as an adult, I will always come back here. Even if I played for another team, I would always come back here in the off season. I just love Edmonton. Edmonton has been good to me, and I just want to get back to Edmonton.
Thaddeus will be deployed as a part of the Animal Control Unit, where he, alongside other members of his unit, will patrol the Edmonton area to ensure animal welfare.
With warmer weather coming, the city of Edmonton hopes to keep the mosquito population low for this 2024 season.
The last several spring seasons have been very low in terms of mosquito populations, so we're expecting similar this year. We're not.
The City of Edmonton senior scientist Mike Jenkins spoke about the city's plan to keep the mosquito population under control. Jenkins stated that the annual ground control efforts has begun around Edmonton. Areas in the city are being monitored for mosquito development. Aside from mosquitoes, Jenkins and his team monitor the giant Dauber wasp, the giant water bug, and carpenter ants.
We don't do any treatment when there is no hatching going on, but we do monitor the conditions, and when we see the mosquitoes developing, that's when we start the treatment. So that is our general plan in terms of proactive control of the mosquito population.
Edmontonians can help keep the mosquito population under control by monitoring their backyards where they have stagnant bodies of water to ensure that they are cleaned or covered. The areas where water can collect are rubber tires stored outdoors, eaves troughs, water fountains, fish ponds, and ground where puddles can naturally form.
We're having clear skies that our weather reporter Caleb will tell us more about later. It's good news for stargazers though, as this week some countries around the world experienced total darkness. However, a different scenery took place for the eclipse here in Edmonton.
It's already quite a lot. I know, but if you think of a pie chart, 1/3 is still pretty big.
Many came to the Telus World of Science Edmonton to view the partial solar eclipse safely. Telescopes and solar filters and solar viewers were provided. Edmonton witnessed 23% of the sun hidden behind the moon when the eclipse reached its peak. On the other hand, Eastern Canada saw a rare total solar eclipse.
Partial eclipses, though, again, aren't as rare, and we will have another one in 2026, and then we have about 8 partial solar eclipses until 2044.
Our Telus World of Science actually has an event out here, so we thought we'll take a couple hours off work and come down and check it out.
We thought it would be a great opportunity to play hooky and check out the celestial event and dress for the occasion, have some fun.
If you're wondering about the next total solar eclipse, mark your calendars, because most of Edmonton and Alberta will witness total darkness on August 22nd, 2044.
A West Edmonton high school is changing its 2024 graduation merchandise logo after concerns were raised about its similarity to Nazi eagle logo Reichsadler. Before the spring break, Ross Shepherd High School was notified that a newly designed logo for this year's graduation merchandise was concerning due to its resemblance to a Nazi logo. The school reclaimed the items. According to communications with Edmonton Public Schools, the design was intended to reflect the Thunderbird, which is the school's logo.
I could see how some people would see it, but to me personally, I just think it's too different to actually be similar.
I really doubt that would be anything intentional, but I do see there is a little bit of resemblance that I think is mostly accidental.
I can see why people saw it looked like the Nazi symbol because it does look similar, but I don't think the intentions were there for that.
I think they should have just kept it because they were trying to represent the Thunderbird logo, so I feel like it was just dumb in general to change it at point. I can see why people would be mad, but they should have just kept it.
According to communications, the school is working to redesign the logo and will redistribute graduation merchandise to families and students later this year.
Coming up after the break, we want to hear your plans for the summer.
And how women's college basketball is changing a generation.
I'm Taryn Andrusia. Coming up in sports, NAIT welcomes a new head coach to their roster. Plus, is women's basketball on the rise? All that and more in sports.
Sun is out, the skies are clear, snow is finally gone. There's only one thing. Spring is back in Edmonton. Now is the time to pull out those golf clubs. I'm Caleb J. DeMar for NewsWatch Weather, and I'll tell you all about it.
Welcome back. Spring in Edmonton has finally hit, and I couldn't be more excited about it. Maria, are you hoping for spring to actually stick around this time?
Absolutely. Hopefully the snow we had last week was the last we see of for a while. Maybe our Caleb J. Namard can give us some good news for the weekend with the forecast.
Thanks, guys. Listen, toss those winter jackets away and pull out those golf clubs because warmth is finally here to stay. If I were you, I'd make some outdoor plans for the weekend because the sun is set to be out and shining all across the City of Champions and beyond. Let's go to Calgary. Flames fans, you're going to enjoy this. High of 16, low of 1. You're going to want to stay indoors in the morning around 10 a.m. because it's going to be a little bit colder. Down to Jasper, you're going to be looking at a high of 12, low of -1. Little bit of clouds in the sky all day. So, you know, be prepared. Fort Mac, Mac Daddy, Big Mac, Bernie Mac, Mac and Cheese, Return of the Mac for the last time. Fort McMurray, we love you. It's going to be lots of cloudy skies, a lot more clouds than you expect. High of 13, low of -1. So if you want to be prepared, it's going to be a little bit colder in the morning. Heat up around 1 a.m. Excuse me, not 1 a.m., 1 p.m. That would be very creepy. Back to Edmonton. Saturday is going to be a lot colder than you expect. Sunday is going to heat up, but Saturday, high of 3, low of 2. Lots of clouds in the sky, so it's going to be a little bit dreary. Be prepared for that mentally. Go to our averages. Average high is going to be 9 in Edmonton, average low, -1. We are nowhere close to our records at all, but let's be honest, it's a far cry from where we were last week. So if you're a fan of anything outdoors, looking to have a good time, this weekend may just be the time to do it. Caleb J. Namard, NAIT NewsWatch Weather.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
Last week, we asked about your thoughts on the Metro Line LRT being only down to 3 cars and if it affects you.
And your answers did not disappoint. Congratulations to Harry._.Talwar, who let us know that peak times like mornings and evenings may be a future concern. Please contact the NAIT Nugget to claim your prize.
With summer break around the corner, summer plans may be on the minds of staff and students alike. Maria, do you have any plans for the summer?
Actually, I do. I'll be looking for a new job.
Well, you may not be alone. This inspired our last question of the week. What are your plans for summer break?
Head on over and answer the question of the week on @NAITNugget on Instagram. The best answer will win a phenomenal prize from the NAIT Nugget.
NAIT welcomed a new head coach to its roster this past week. Maria, do you know anything about that?
Honestly, Selena, I don't know. But lucky for us, our Taryn Andrusiak is here to tell us all about it.
Thanks, guys. That's right. The NAIT Ooks men's basketball team welcomed its new head coach this week. The new head coach is also a current guard for the Edmonton Stingers. Current Edmonton Stingers guard Adika Peters-McNeely was announced on Saturday as the new head coach for the NAIT Ooks men's basketball team, taking over the former role of current Stingers head coach Jordan Baker. Adika isn't the only change coming for the Ooks, as he is set to coach alongside a whole new coaching staff.
Really excited, to get my coaching career started with NAIT. It was an honor going through the interview process and meeting all the people with the NAIT Athletics and giving me the opportunity to come on board. So I'm ready to go.
Adika Peters-McNeely will begin his season with the NAIT Ooks in September of the 2024 and 2025 season. Emotions were running high in the local soccer world this week as the Mini World Cup, Heritage Cup, bronze, and gold medal matches for women took to the turf on Tuesday night. The tournament kicked off on March 26 and spanned over 13 days. The tournament had 49 teams that represented 25 countries from around the globe.
Somebody who scored a hat-trick would feel like, I don't know, it feels great. In the first half, I didn't think I was going to score, but at the time I was happy that I was able to contribute into getting my teammates' goals.
The two teams that were competing for the bronze medal was Ukraine and Lebanon, with Lebanon winning the game 5-1 and taking home the bronze medal, while Canada and England battled it out for gold, with England winning the game 4-1 and taking home the cup. As highly anticipated annual NCAA tournament comes to an end, one thing has been clear: women ruled this year's March Madness, but has this success transcended into other women's sports? And what does this mean for future generations? Our Gabby Brunel has more.
Propelled by a new generation of players such as Angel Reese, Canadian standout Aliyah Edwards, and of course Iowa sensation Caitlin Clark, women's basketball has been redefined in the past few weeks, breaking all kinds of records. However, for veterans of the sport like former player and current NAIT women's basketball head coach Kira Lyons, this isn't a sudden rise, but the culmination of decades of collective effort. As for the talent, it has always been there.
We've known it's been good. We've known it's been exciting. We've understood the type of athletes that they are and what they're capable of doing. And so having a large scale of people recognize that is like, all right, like it's about time. We've known this, right?
The success of the NCAA, as well as women's soccer and the PWHL, which has had steady television ratings, including millions for the league's inaugural game, indicate a shift in landscape in all of women's sports.
It's such an exciting thing because people are like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like I thought it wasn't going to be very good. I thought it was going to be slow. I thought it was going to be, and then they actually get to see it. And that's the biggest thing. Like as soon as you watch it, you understand, but you have to have the opportunity to watch it.
Now, considering the significant rise of media coverage and viewership in women's sports, how does this affect the present and future of younger generations?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Like with the national championship just last weekend, I feel like lots of young girls and like girls our age were excited to watch them compete, and it definitely influenced them to try harder in the gym, and you know, it's fun.
The women's championship game on Sunday drew 18.7 million viewers, peaking at 24 million, an astonishing 89% increase from last year's title game, and get this, a 285% increase from 2022. To put things into perspective, this not only marked the first time in history that a women's final had a larger TV audience than the men's, it was also the most watched basketball game of any kind since 2019.
Well, guys, it'll be interesting to see what Adika brings to the 2024 and 25 season.
Yeah, definitely. But I gotta say, I am a huge fan of Miriam from Team Lebanon. She did phenomenal that game.
Nice. For me, I'm looking forward to women's basketball growing in the future. Thanks, Darren.
Coming up after the break, Edmonton's music scene kicks off festival season in a big way.
Plus, how the circus could help you burn calories.
Trapeze, loop, silks, hoop, a little bit of acrobatics.
I'm Graham Fellows, and coming up in entertainment, we take a look at the Ukrainian Film Festival, plus our own Calf Santos, heads on down to the Highlight Festival. All that and more coming up. Shh.
NAIT NewsWatch 2024 Team Apparel is brought to you by Cratex Industries, Elko Promotions, and Vienna Bakery.
Welcome back. Selena, it seems like we just tried everything this semester.
Yeah, Maria, it definitely seems that way. However, for this week's Try This segment, our Ben Draper tried something completely different. Circus performing arts?
Here at Cirque Tastique, I'm going to see if I have what it takes to perform circus arts.
Yeah, so my journey in circus would have started exactly like you said, like a trampolinist. So I competed in the world of trampoline for about 12 to 15 years, did a lot of trampoline shows. I then moved to Edmonton, and in Edmonton, that's where I learned more of the aerial acrobatics. Whee!
Lynn opened the facility 5 years ago and has been teaching in it ever since. But today, she faces her biggest challenge yet: training me.
Ben is going to go through a little initiation to the circus arts. We will get him to go upside down in a loop and see how he does with a bit of spinning, or not spinning, but upside down without holding anything.
Quickly, I learned that this isn't going to be easy. It requires patience and some muscle, and my next challenge was even harder.
And he's going to experience a little bit of trapeze work on the bar, which will be probably a little painful for his hand grip and knees.
Well, Lynn was right. My hands were definitely hurting. and by the end of it, they were as red as the mat, which I was quite familiar with.
One last thing, we'll have a bit of fun on the trampoline and bounce the joy of circus.
The bounce was a little easier for me, and I was glad I didn't have to do anything crazy.
We do have summer camps for kids, teens, and we do have a spring session that just started. So we have classes and birthday parties. Anything you like.
It is way harder than it looks, and the acrobats make it look way too easy. But if you have a chance, you should try this.
Well, that definitely looks like it hurt. But Maria, it's looking to be a busy weekend for film lovers, music lovers, and Ukrainian culture here in Edmonton.
That's right. The Ukrainian Film Festival hits theaters today, plus the world premiere of the Ukrainian War Requiem on Sunday. Our Ground Fellows has this and more in entertainment.
Thanks, guys. For film, music, and live performances, it's a busy weekend here in the capital city. So keep your schedule free because there are some events you're not going to want to miss. Now get comfy, grab a drink, and grab some popcorn because the Ukrainian Film Festival hits the big screens today at Metro Cinema for its second year in a row, showing off Ukrainians' best films and filmmakers. Metro Cinema is hosting the second annual Ukrainian Film Festival this weekend, displaying 6 films from Ukrainian filmmakers, showcasing the very best films and filmmakers from Ukraine. For Ukrainians in the city, the film festival is a celebration of culture, a sense of comfort, and a reminder of home.
We wanted to share the stories about those people, just to tell who they are, what actually their culture is. And the films are probably the best way how we actually could tell the stories about those people. And those people felt welcomed when they saw that something is happening that is really close to their culture, to their hearts.
Here's a look at the movies and screen times. Also, the film producer of In the Rear View and the film director of We Will Not Fade Away will have an exclusive Q&A after their screenings. Make sure to grab those tickets before it's too late. Now, a first for the Axios Men's Ensemble at St. Basil's Church this weekend. After hiring the likes of a Grammy-nominated composer and a world-renowned conductor, the ensemble is proud to be debuting the world premiere of the Ukrainian War Requiem right here in Edmonton. Harmonious sounds bellowed through the vast church on Wednesday as the Axios Men's Ensemble rehearsed for their debut of the Ukrainian War Requiem this weekend, flying in different singers from around the world, enlisting renowned conductor Michael Zog and 2-time Grammy-nominated composer Benedict Sheehan to capture the essence of the war on Ukraine.
It's about the opportunity for me as an artist, for me as a composer, to say that I support the cause of freedom. I support the right of individuals and communities to determine who they are and determine what they will be and what they want to be.
The composer has chosen to use some texts of the Rite of Death, so the Requiem, that is kind of a global text that applies to everyone and everywhere.
Exudes like goodness, truth, and beauty. So those are actually the 3 transcendent kind of goods. And so I think the music totally encapsulates that.
The concert runs from 3 to 5 this Sunday. For tickets, go to axioschoir.com. A new local festival that celebrates music is blasting sound across Edmonton throughout the weekend. Arcav Santos went to check out the fun.
Bands, beers, and bars. Edmonton's Highlight Festival is back for the second time. This year's festival will showcase over 35 bands, including new local acts and bands from out of town, such as Young Howler from Red Deer, Greenwing from Saskatoon, Quit It from Calgary, and many more.
We had close to 300 applicants for this, which is a lot to read and a lot to look into and stuff. And we liked virtually like every single band who applied were like, this band would be fucking amazing for this festival. Pardon my language, but you know, that's what it is, you know?
This year, Iron Eyes, a band from Calgary, kicked off the opening night with their lead singer Leland Grauweiler performing his very last show for the band.
I love them, and I'm very excited to do this one last time, and it's the kickoff for like a super fun fest, so it's a cool way to go out, I feel.
Black Bar is one of 5 venues used for the Highlight Festival, choosing to rotate all across the city instead of one location. The shows for the next 4 days will be spread out across Edmonton, from bars to theaters and everything in between.
It's nice to like have the kind of different feels of like different rooms. Black Bar is a small room, so it, you know, feels kind of like a house show. The band's on the floor, you're close up. Starlight is like big stage, big room, big band kind of thing, so it gives you different feels. And we also, along with highlighting some of the bands, is like some of the music venues in town who really like support the music community. They have shows often. They're really like kind of here for us. Yeah.
This festival will run till the 14th, and if you want to rock out this weekend, tickets are still available on the Highlight Facebook, Instagram, and Linktrees. I'm Cav Santos, NAIT NewsWatch.
Well, it is a busy week for music in the city. You know, it seems like the Highlight Festival has a free show tonight that you might want to check out.
Yeah, I noticed there's a lot of events going around Edmonton this weekend.
Yeah, speaking of the Highlight Festival, Graham, where exactly is this show being held?
Well, the show is being held at the Revival at 7 p.m., but since it's a free concert, you probably want to go early.
We'll take that in mind. Thanks, Graham.
Well, Maria, that's all we got for today's show. Crazy to think that this is the last regular show of the season.
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey, but not to worry. NAIT NewsWatch is back on your screens with 2 special extra shows, starting next week.
That's right. So stay tuned, enjoy your weekend, and from all of us here at NAIT NewsWatch, have a great night.